Alberta just shocked the entire nation. Premier Danielle Smith has unveiled a plan that could change not only Alberta's future, but possibly the future of global energy. Imagine this: oil that produces almost zero carbon emissions. Sounds impossible, right? Well, Smith says it's not only possible but coming sooner than we think. For decades, Alberta has been Canada's powerhouse, fueling the economy with oil and gas. But it's also been at the centre of the climate change debate. Environmentalists say the oil sands are some of the dirtiest in the world, while workers say shutting them down would destroy families and entire towns. Now Danielle Smith is promising a bold middle path: keep the oil, cut the carbon. But here's the question: is this a real breakthrough, or just a clever political move to buy time? Today, we're breaking it all down. What Smith promised, how it works, the risks, the rewards, and what it really means for Alberta, Canada, and the world. Let's rewind for a second. Alberta produces over 3.5 million barrels of oil every single day. That makes it the lifeline of Canada's economy, accounting for billions in exports and government revenue. But here's the flip side. Those oil sands are responsible for nearly 25% of Canada's total greenhouse gas emissions. For decades, Ottawa and Alberta have been at war over climate policy. Ottawa wants stricter emission caps, while Alberta says cutting production means killing jobs. Danielle Smith's Decarbonization Plan is her attempt to solve this impossible puzzle. Protect the oil industry, protect the jobs, and still claim progress on climate goals. So, what exactly did Smith announce? Here are the big takeaways from her decarbonization blueprint: carbon capture and storage, CCS. Billions of dollars will be invested in capturing CO2 from oil facilities and pumping it underground. Smith claims Alberta could store more CO2 than almost any region in the world. Blue hydrogen. Production. Alberta will produce hydrogen fuel using natural gas, but with captured emissions, branding it as clean hydrogen. This could make Alberta a global leader in alternative fuels. Net zero. Oil sands by 2050. Smith says every major oil producer in Alberta has agreed to a pathway to net zero emissions by mid-century. Taxpayer incentives and federal funding battles. Alberta wants Ottawa to help fund these projects, but there's a fierce political battle over who pays the bill. Smith called it a revolution in responsible energy production. But is it? Let's break this down. Smith is promising Alberta can continue producing millions of barrels of oil while making them virtually carbon-free. If true, this would be a global game-changer. Alberta wouldn't just sell oil, it would sell clean oil technology to the world. But experts are divided. Supporters say CCS and hydrogen are the future, and Alberta has the perfect geology and workforce to make it work. Critics call it greenwashing, claiming the technology is too expensive, too unproven, and too slow to actually meet Canada's climate targets. The harsh reality? CCS projects in the past have cost billions and under-delivered. Just look at Saskatchewan's Boundary Dam project, a CCS facility that captured far less carbon than promised. Will Alberta really be different? This is where the controversy explodes. Environmental groups argue Smith's plan is just a cover to keep pumping oil for decades. They say true decarbonization requires phasing out fossil fuels, not repackaging them. Meanwhile, economists worry taxpayers could end up footing the bill. Oil companies stand to benefit the most: billions in subsidies, tax credits, and government-backed infrastructure. But if the technology fails, guess who pays? Everyday Canadians. And let's not forget politics. Ottawa is already clashing with Alberta over emission caps. Smith's plan could trigger another Alberta versus Ottawa showdown, with lawsuits, protests, and maybe even threats of Alberta sovereignty. But beyond politics, let's talk about the people. Over 100,000 Albertans work in the energy sector. For them, this isn't just policy, it's survival. If Smith's plan works, workers keep their jobs, families keep their homes, retirees relying on oil-backed pension funds see stability. If it fails, mass layoffs, shrinking pensions, whole towns could collapse, just like we saw in coal communities when the industry shut down. Smith is gambling with not just numbers on a spreadsheet, but with real lives. And make no mistake, the world is watching. The US is eyeing Alberta as a potential partner in clean hydrogen exports. Europe is demanding cleaner oil imports. Even OPEC is watching to see if Alberta pulls off something that could change global energy markets. If Alberta succeeds, Canada could brand itself as the world leader in responsible oil. That means billions in new investments and global credibility. But if it fails, Alberta could lose investors, lose credibility, and end up further behind in the global energy race. Here's the million-dollar question everyone's asking. Can oil ever truly be clean? Critics don't think so. They argue that no matter how advanced your carbon capture system is, drilling and burning oil will always leave scars on the planet. They warn it's like putting a filter on a cigarette. You might reduce the damage, but you're still smoking. On the other side, supporters insist we can't just flip a switch and abandon oil overnight. They argue that until solar, wind, and other renewables can fully power our grids, cleaner oil is the only realistic bridge. To them, decarbonized oil isn't hypocrisy, it's survival. And here's where Danielle Smith's plan enters the battlefield. She positions it right in the eye of the storm, trying to balance two fierce realities. Environmental activists shout, "End fossil fuels now or we lose the planet." But Albertans counter with, "We need jobs, we need affordable energy, and we need security." Smith's message is bold. This isn't a perfect solution. It's a compromise, a middle path where both sides sacrifice something to avoid losing everything. But here's the catch with compromise. It rarely feels like victory. Activists call it greenwashing. Industry insiders call it barely enough. And Albertans? Many are left wondering if this big promise will actually protect their future, or just kick the can further down the road. So here's the bottom line. Danielle Smith's Decarbonization Plan is either the boldest innovation in Canadian energy history, or the biggest gamble Alberta has ever taken. It could cement Alberta as a global leader in clean oil, or it could end in wasted billions, broken promises, and lost jobs. Now it's your turn. Do you believe Alberta can really produce decarbonized oil? Or is this just political branding to protect big oil? Tell me in the comments below. Your opinion matters. Because this debate isn't just about Alberta, it's about Canada's future. And before you go, smash that like button so more Canadians see this video. Subscribe for weekly updates on energy and politics. And share this with anyone who cares about the future of jobs, oil, and climate in Canada. Trust me, this conversation is just beginning. Disclaimer, this content is for informational purposes only and should not be taken as financial, legal, or professional advice. Always consult a qualified expert before making decisions.